Let it burn, the constable declares. There's nothing we can do. It's payback. So what he's talking about, as you look at Dunbar and Constable, Constable being the figure on the right, a few days earlier, Sharisha had found 5 goblin structures, which looked like they were going to be homes, huts and homes, that were going up outside of the ward but inside of the siege line. And the worry was that Black Fang was going to try to create a goblin community that surrounds Phandalin so that he could get that entrenched enough where removing it would constitute genocide. And so there was differing opinions about whether Black Fang would get any sympathy from, society, from Waterdeep to Neverwinter. All the sympathy would be for Phandalin, and you would think that the removal of the goblin siege line and the goblin community there would be justified. But there's also the other side of that coin, which is goblin, orc, troll, all that society that Black Fang seems to be leading. Their retaliation could be much harsher in the short term. So far, Black Fang has not marched his full army into Phandalin or destroyed Phandalin or anything like that. It's been more of a tit-for-tat war, and Black Fang seems to have some sort of strategy. Again, the humans here don't really think that strategy would work, but they still wanted to remove those structures before any toehold could be established by Black Fang. So they went out and they destroyed those 5 structures. So now the constable's thinking, well, it's payback. And in his mind, he's thinking this could be, well, the first of up to 5 structures that get burned in Phandalin as a retaliation. So a quick update to the timeline to record all of that. And at the time it's happening, the constable was worried also that his house being attacked is a diversion for possibly another attack somewhere in the town. So I'm going to roll up and see if there are any other attacks in the town. Let's see what happens. So the thing the DM would know is the likelihood of Black Fang, making more than one attack on this night. I think Black Fang was just trying to make a statement. So let's do the question. Let's make the question, does Black Fang launch another attack on this night? Knowing Black Fang, since I created him way back when, let's roll a unlikely. So an unlikely, let's make it even highly unlikely that there will be another attack. No, there will not be another attack. So let me give you a little background on why this situation is so dire. You would think that, a bunch of goblins, orcs, a troll maybe, or whatever, for the heroes would be easy pickings and that would be no problem to remove. But Black Fang has managed to assemble a huge army when compared to no army that the Phandalin people have, and they don't even have a town guard. So he has managed to assemble a huge battalion with 3 companies totaling 700 soldiers. And they have ballistas, they have trebuchets especially. The trebuchets have already been used to bombard a couple buildings in town. The Tresendar Manor, the constable's office, and the townmaster's hall was also targeted, but I'm not sure they hit it. But there are a bunch of trebuchets as well. And so removing this army is not as easy as you would think, even though we have heroes in town that are quite capable. But in any case, this is the complication, and this is the dire situation that they all find themselves in. All right, so the last entry is no other structures are attacked in the town for the rest of the night. So the townsfolk spend a tense night. The constable, Dunbar, the heroes, none of them get very much sleep. Now let's find out in the morning if Blackfang sends somebody in to make his demand, which we established earlier was going to be to have them remove the ward, and then we had left it a maybe to see if the constable would agree to that. All right, so we're going to make it highly likely that probably a human again with a white flag comes into town with the message for the constable. Of course he does. All right, so now this is the difficult part, deciding whether the constable will agree to this demand or not. So I had to go back and look. I couldn't remember exactly what the ward was set. In an early session, the heroes decided that orcs, gnolls, dragons, goblins, and trolls would not be able to go through the ward. Inanimate objects such as boulders, arrows, and all that can pass through the ward, and that's why the trebuchets are still effective. And then the ward can only be removed by a god or demigod, since it was installed by Eldath. The constable has sole authority to make this decision. There's no more town master and no other political authority in town. As a matter of fact, the town awaits a new vote to elect a new town master. So this is completely up to him. Obviously, this is a very difficult decision for him. Let's find out if the constable decides to interrogate this human that came into town. I think that's highly likely before they release him or send him back with any message. So will they take him into custody, this human? And will they interrogate him? We'll do 2 questions answered at once. Wow. No. All right. They will not take him into custody. Very interesting. So the constable is strong-willed, straight shooter, but he also loves his wife and his family. So I think the most logical thing, the most reasonable thing he would do is to send a message back that kind of buys himself some time. Maybe he'd put something like, considering your request, please give me 2 days. I don't think I need to roll on that. And during those 2 days, he would probably consult with his heroes, one of which is Dunbar Fergan, an 8th level fighter. What he's looking for is a way to contact his wife using sending. And Janos is a bard of 9th level, but it does not look like he has sending. And then Kosif is an 8th level monk, and he doesn't have magic, I don't think. So then he would also check with his deputies. Shrisha, who's a 9th level wizard. She does not have sending. She has a message, but I don't think the range on message is going to be enough unless she gets into range. I'll have to look and see what the range is on that. She does not have sending. Viola Luxodon. Yeah, he's a fighter, so he doesn't have any magic. And then Theron's a druid. Yeah, he doesn't have anything either. So it looks like the only hope would be to send Shirisha out and see if she can get to. She has invisibility. And see if she can use message. Because the constable would want to know what his wife's feelings are about this. A quick search on 5e tools brings up anything. If you guys aren't using 5e tools for D&D, it's fantastic. Anyway, the range for message is 120 feet. So it's interesting. This actually spawns the potential for another mission, for a solo mission for Shirisha. Not sure I'll play it on the tabletop, although it could be a little tricky because there's a chance that Black Fang, although his guards are not particularly dangerous or anything like that, other than, you know, being great fighters and stuff like that. It could be that there is, that, you know, as part of the surprise that we rolled up earlier, it could be that that she could get tripped up or caught. So that presents an interesting difficulty as far as rolling it up outside of a table session. Okay, so timeline update to 7 bells in the morning on the 25th of Kythorn. A lone human enters the town carrying a white flag and presents a constable with Black Fang's demand. Remove the ward to de-escalate, it says. The constable sends back his own message. Considering your demand, need 2 days.